Good morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. And welcome to Facebook Live.
Happy New Year,
yes,
you guys.
Happy
2020.
New Year. Yes, this is the year.
This is the year.
With you and Scipio. And we're just so happy to have you here. We wanted this Facebook fitness group to be a community where you can ask questions and you could receive training and just maximize your Scipio account. And we really, truly read all of your questions. And one of the questions we constantly get asked is, how do we integrate with? How do you integrate? How do you connect it to my Scipio account? And so that is what we're talking about today. All things integrations. And this is a huge topic.
Huge topic.
So we're going to be breaking it into 2 weeks. And today will be part 1. Next Tuesday will be part 2. And please feel free to ask questions while you are here, because we have a moderator filtering the comments, and she will answer any questions that you may have. So first, what is an integration? So these days, I truly believe it takes a village of apps and softwares to run a company. And what happens is you're running all these apps and you're trying to transfer data from one to the other, things just get lost. You kind of have to cross your fingers
So
that
true.
as you're opening 100 browsers, and not 100, maybe 3 or 4, and different apps, as you're transferring information, that it gets over and that the right content gets there, and that it's relevant content, it's up-to-date content, and it just takes a ton of extra time that you don't have, that your teams don't have. And so that's where integrations come in. Integration is like a connecting piece between some software that you use and another software. And today it's whatever it is you want to connect with Scipio. And one of the values of Scipio, it's not just that speed, that immediate speed that automation allows you to do, or the convenience of just having a message pop up into someone's mobile phone. But it's the personalization factor that we offer. And we've talked before about how personalization is so much more than just writing someone's first name in a text message. We need to keep those messages relevant. And when you have a system that you are using that keeps all of your client, your prospects, your members' information up to date, and that communicates with Scipio, you can automatically send incredibly relevant information to all of your clients.
Yeah, because not just saying, oh, hey, first name, the timing of your message, not just the timing of the day, but the context of their life.
Yes.
Like right now, you would probably want to add New Year's language to your messages because it's a brand new year, right? And so the context of their lives just adds that another layer of personalization, and they know that it's a person on the other end of this message,
and not just a bot.
Yep, and that will engage them.
Yes, it will. We've already shown you how personalized, relevant information can up 3, 4, 5x your engagement. So one thing that I found, especially in the gym industry, you rely on, and we do too, month-to-month payments coming in.
Yep. And
oftentimes, credit card they're declined, and it takes a lot of time to get on the phone and track people down and get that credit card information. So a really cool thing, if your CRM allows it, is to pull in those declines and communicate that with Scipio and send them an automated message to ask them to update. So today, Jared is going to show you how we would do that with Zapier, and that is the one integration. We have dozens of integrations, but the one we're going to talk about today is Zapier. It's one of my favorite. So why don't Jared go ahead and take the control here.
All right. So this, just a quick disclaimer, this is going to be a little bit longer and a little bit more involved. And so if you're trying to watch this and do something else, either put that other thing away or remind yourself to watch this later. Send yourself a Scipio message to watch this later tonight, because we're going to go in depth and we're going to teach you how to connect your Scipio account to your Zapier account. And then we're actually going to build a Zap that brings in a contact from a Google Sheet and automatically adds them to a campaign. And so the idea of this is that once a week, you could look in your CRM and see your declined members. You can add those to a Google Sheet, and that will automatically add them into Scipio and automatically add them to a campaign that gets them to reach out to you, or just is a very soft way to get their card information updated.
Because most of the time people don't need to have their credit card declined, but with a new year, most of the time they're expired. So we're just going to easy way.
Or if you're like me, your Netflix account gets hacked and you have to get a new credit card or whatever.
Right. Actually, with Christmas having just happened, that's more likely than not to have happened to you.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and share. I've got another monitor here because we've got a lot that we're going to cover. So I'm looking over here. It's because I'm working, but let's jump into this. So we're going to start by being logged into our Scipio account. I'm logged in here. This is a demo account I've created, so I can show you what this looks like. I'm also using a trial version of Zapier. Okay, and I'm doing that on purpose so that each of you could try this out on your own without needing to pay any extra money for Zapier. You can get this set up and see if it's working for you. But again, wanted to show you what that looks like.
And there's no compensation from Zapier.
Yeah, we're not making it.
We just really like it.
Yeah, and we want to help you guys feel comfortable with these automations. So then I've also got a Google spreadsheet that I've built that is just very simple with a name, phone number, and email, and then status. So let's go ahead and jump into Scipio. So the first thing that you're going to want to do, I'm going to navigate to our integrations page. Okay, this is our integrations page. This is where you install integrations. As you can see, we've got scheduling integrations, we've got CRM integrations. Got great feedback yesterday. Once you've installed one of these integrations, and maybe we'll talk about this more next week. Next week, we're going to go deeper into connecting a ClickFunnels account to your Scipio account directly without using Zapier. But we know a lot of people use Zapier, so that's what we're focusing on today. But all you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and just click install here, and it's going to have you click on this link. That's an invitation to join Scipio's app on Zapier. You've been invited to use Scipio on Zapier, and then you go ahead and click. Go ahead and go ahead.
Go ahead and go ahead. Accept
invite and build Zap. So we're going to build a Zap with Scipio and Zapier here in just a minute. Okay. So what that just did is that tells Scipio that, hey, we're going to want to do something inside of Zapier, and Zapier now is ready to allow us to connect our Scipio account to its platform, and that will allow the two systems, like Bianca said, it's a bridge to share information across that bridge. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and click Make a Zap. It's going to load this screen up, and it first asks, imagine this, and if you've ever used Zapier before, if you've ever used integrations before, this might feel like I'm preaching to the choir a little bit, but we want everyone to feel confident using this. And so it's almost like dominoes, where you have 3 or 4 dominoes stacked up. You can press one over and they'll all fall down. So this first thing, it's called a trigger event. And so we need to choose an application to start this automation. Okay, so when something happens in application A, we want it to do something in application B. And in this case, B is going to be Scipio. The Zapier is going to be the bridge between the two. And application A, for our purposes, is going to be our Google Sheet. So when there's an update made to our Google Sheet, we're going to update something in Scipio. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Google Sheets. And the trigger event, the thing that's triggering it, I'm going to go ahead and just say, anytime there is a new spreadsheet row. So anytime I add a row to my spreadsheet, and that's this spreadsheet here. Let me zoom in for you. Anytime I add a row to this spreadsheet, this Zap will run. Okay, and that's what I want to have happen. Because every week I'm going to look at my declined payments, and I'm going to take those 3 or 4 members and add them to this spreadsheet, and that will automatically add them to Scipio and automatically send them messages.
And you'll have some wonderful pre-built message in Scipio that kindly asks people to
update their card information. Right? And so that's our trigger app and trigger event. It's a new spreadsheet row. Okay, then it's going to have me connect my Google Sheets account to Zapier. Okay, and anytime you're doing a new, it's not going to show you this, but all that I'm doing is just logging in to my my Gmail account with Zapier. Okay, and I'm doing that on the side here. You're not going to see that because the way that we're sharing this doesn't show us sharing credentials. Once I've chosen my account, I now have access to choose any one of my spreadsheets that lives inside of my Google Sheets account. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit the drop down, and I have my one spreadsheet here, declined cards. I'm going to choose that. And then the worksheet is actually the tab on which that data lives. So in this case, I only have one sheet, so there's not going to be any there, but you could have 10, 15, 20 Google Sheet tabs here. But I'm only going to use this one. So the worksheet, it's called sheet number 1. And I'm going to just choose that there. And I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And it's going to give me an option to test it. I'm going to go ahead and test and review, and it's going to pull data that lives on my spreadsheet. I've got my information here. It's going to pull that data right into Zapier, and that's what we're seeing right here. Spreadsheet row A, pulled in 1 second ago. You see we've got my information, Jared Clark. We've got my phone number, we've got my email address, and also the row number that came over with Google Sheets. Okay, you notice I didn't have anything in here in this status. And so we'll talk about that though in just a second. So I've connected my Google Sheet to Zapier and I've pulled the right information in. So let's go ahead and move on to the next step. I'm done editing that one. Now we want it to do something. Well, what's the thing we want it to do? We want it to talk to Scipio. We want it to add a contact to Scipio. So I'm going to go ahead and click the do this option. And I'm going to search for Scipio. And I've been invited. That's what we did right at the start. We accepted the invitation. So I'm going to choose this Scipio, and it's version 0.1.3. Okay, and the action, the thing that it's going to do is create a contact for us. Create or update a contact that's already been created. And we'll go ahead and continue. So now it's going to ask me to sign into Scipio, just like we signed into Google Sheets. And in order to sign into Scipio, all that you're going to need is what's called an API token. And we'll have our moderators paste. We have a form and an API committee that reviews all of the requests for the API tokens. We have a committee that will send that token to you. You just have to fill out a form and let us know what you're planning on integrating with. It's a way for us to do some research and to know what integrations we need to build. But then it also allows us to just to make sure that people are utilizing the system properly. And so I've got my API token. I'm going to go ahead and paste it in. Again, Zoom that we're using for this webinar doesn't allow us to show this because it's protected information. Just go ahead and hit continue there. And we'll see that my account has now been linked up to Zapier. And I'll go ahead and continue. So we've connected Google Sheets and we're getting the right information. We've connected Scipio, and now we need to tell Scipio where we want to send that information. And so you're seeing this customized contact form. This is where we're going to put the data that we're pulling from our spreadsheet into Scipio. We're mapping the two fields. So we have in our spreadsheet, we've got first name field. So I'm going to go ahead and pull the first name field from my Google spreadsheet and save it to the first name field inside of Scipio. It's a fairly simple process. It's involved, but it's not complex. I'm going to choose the phone number. I've got my last name here, last name Clark, and I've got my email here. And this is coming from Zapier. I've got my custom fields that I can put in here. My contact fields, I've set up some other integrations inside this account. So that's what you're seeing here. I've actually got ClickFunnels involved. We're going to be talking about ClickFunnels next week. So
we know that's a huge one. We've had several requests for ClickFunnels. So that's next, we promise. So
I'm just going to go ahead and put job title, Ginger Man. I'm putting that in there so I can show you what it looks like when a contact is updated inside of Scipio, because that doesn't exist on my contact in Scipio. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. We'll disregard all this stuff right now and I'll go ahead and click continue. It's going to say this is what we're going to send to Scipio. We're going to send first name, last name, phone number, email, and in job title, we're going to send the words Ginger Man for this one contact. We'll test and continue, and then come back to Scipio and find my contact in Scipio, just to show that, sure enough, this contact was created in Zapier, and all my information is there. And in my custom fields, Ginger Man. So we know that this Zap is set up properly.
It works. Always test it first.
Yeah. It is pulling the information from our Google Sheet and putting it inside of Scipio. Okay. So step one, long step one, but it is finished now. So now let's talk about step two. How do we get now Scipio to automate adding someone to a campaign? Well, we actually do that from the campaigns tab. Okay. So let's go ahead and jump to the campaigns tab. And I'll show you where this lives. So I've got my campaign for decline cards, and we have a rules section here. Okay, this is where we're going to create our rules inside of Scipio to add someone to this campaign. Okay, and we're going to name this rule. I'm going to add to declined cards campaign. That's what my rule is called. And when do we want this automation to happen? Just like in Zapier, when we have a trigger, in Scipio, we're going to have triggers as well. Okay, and this is our trigger. We want this rule to run when a contact is updated. Okay, because likely these are your members. If you're doing this for new leads, you're going to want to choose when a contact is created. And we'll talk about that next week when we talk about ClickFunnels.
But for this, all intents and purposes, these are likely people that are already your contacts, already people you're messaging. All you have to do is do a little status update that didn't get their right billing information.
Yep. And so anytime a contact is updated, I want this rule to check and make sure that we have check a contact and see if the right information exists to add them to this campaign. Okay, and that's what this is. What are the conditions that need to be met to complete this rule? And so we're going to go ahead and click down, and you're going to see that I have all of these options to pull from. Okay, and your account may not have these. And so let's show you how to create these. You're actually going to do it from your profile. You click on profile, and it's this option right here. Custom CRM fields. I told you this is a little bit of an involved process, but taking these 20 minutes and setting it up is going to save you so much time for automation in the future. Okay, so it's totally worth it. So we're going to go manage, and I'm going to create a brand new one for this demonstration, and I'm going to call it declined status. And it is a string. If you don't know the different types of, don't worry about it, a string is just text. Okay, this field is going to be a text field that I can bring into my account with some type of data. So decline status, I'm gonna go ahead and hit create, and it will show up all the way here at the bottom. And what's great about that, because we've linked Zapier, I'm gonna come back to my Zap, go back to setup, come to Scipio. On my customized contact now, I scroll all the way to the bottom and click refresh fields, and we will see our brand new field,
voila!
Decline status, showing here.
Shows you right there that the two systems are
that they're talking to each other.
They're definitely communicating.
Yep. So this is the field that we're now going to use in our Zap to not only create our contact, but to create the contact with the pertinent information to then add them to our Scipio account and add them to the right campaign. So let's jump back to here. I'll go to my campaign. I'm going to come back to my decline cards. I'm going to come back to my rules. I'm going to retitle my rule, add to decline campaign. When a contact is updated, if what conditions need to be met, i.e. what field needs to say what thing in order for this rule to run. And I'm going to choose decline status is equal to decline. Not decline, decline. Okay, and then I'm actually going to copy this. Okay, is equal to decline. And I'm going to save that as it is right now. They need to be added to this campaign. And then how many times do I want this to run? Well, I actually want this to run only once.
You don't need to, yes.
Yeah, we don't need to do it over and over and over.
Tell them, decline.
Yep. If you have someone that is declining over and over, that might be another conversation to have. Okay, and then I'm going to save this rule.
You might be needing to pick up the phone at that point.
Yep. So what we just did is we created a rule to add contacts to our decline card campaign. And what the rule says is anytime a contact is updated, if the field on the contact decline status is equal to decline, add them to this campaign. Okay, that's what we just did. So if I come back to my contact inside of Scipio and go to my information here, we'll notice that my decline is empty because it's not showing here.
You haven't declined.
I haven't done anything yet. So let's go ahead now and run our Zap again with the pertinent information and watch me get added to the campaign. So you are the business owner and you come into work maybe on a Thursday morning. That's what you do, or your admin could do this. They just look and they see, oh, we have these declines. Oh, Jared declined, spent too much on Christmas. So he, for some reason, or his card got stolen, whatever it was. I guess I can remember my number, jared@scipio.com. And then I'm going to just paste that status here, decline, enter. Okay, that's going to tell Zapier, hey, we need to do something in our Zap. So let's now jump back to our Zap, and we're going to retest this all the way through the process. Okay, so the data that we want to bring in, we should have a new one. We do right there.
There it is.
So I'm going to select that guy.
Because you updated.
I updated, it's brand new, right? And now this is row 3, and you'll notice that we have this decline status now showing here. Okay, so I'll scroll down. I'm done editing. I have my sample that I need. I'm going to come back to Scipio. I'm going to come to the customized contact. Okay, this is us still setting up this Zap. We've got first name, last name, phone number. All this is coming from the Google Sheet. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom now. And in my decline status, I'm going to choose from my spreadsheet row the status decline. I'm going to go ahead and hit continue. And I'm going to try and do this quickly. When I hit retest and continue, we'll jump back over to Scipio and watch this person get added to the campaign. Retest and continue. It will think for a minute, and it will give us a success. And now Scipio, I refresh that page. My decline status is there. And this is going to update momentarily saying that I am in the decline card status. And I didn't have to add that person automatically. I didn't have to do anything except create my rules to add them to the decline card status anytime a contact has been updated, right? So let's go ahead and do it now with someone that is not in our Scipio account. So if this was for leads, if you're doing this for something else, we're just going to change this rule to say, hey, when a contact is created, and we'll jump back to we're going to turn our Zap on. It's going to think for a minute. So our Zap has been created properly. Okay, our Zap is on. I created our first one. Congratulations. Thank you, Zapier. And now let's add Bianca to this. Bianca. That's how you spell your name, right?
It is.
And what's your number?
All right. 385-393-1441.
Okay, again, I've come into the office. I've looked. Oh, Bianca's card declined yesterday. I type decline. I hit enter. And in a matter of minutes, she will not only be added to the Scipio account through our Zap, but she'll be added to the correct campaign. And 15 minutes later, she's going to get a text.
I'm going to get a little text saying
from Jared.
My card was declined.
Right?
So I love how you said, this did take a bit to get set up, but all you have to do is one time, and then it's set it and forget it. It's done for you, as long as you update that status.
Yep, as long as you update that status. And again, this is an instant Zap, and so I'll come here and go to task history, and Zapier is just waiting to run this task for us. And we can stay on, or I'm happy to just post later that it ran.
It was successful. We'll send you a screenshot.
Yep. And so that's how you set up a Zap to Scipio. Okay, there's a lot that goes into it, including accepting the invitation from the Scipio integration screen. Clicking right here, going to integrations, choosing your integrations, clicking install. Okay, you'll get, you probably aren't able to see what this looks like. Maybe I can share that screen with you. It will look exactly like this. Come back. Oh, here it is. It's going to look just like this. And you just click on this link, and that will take you to your Zapier account. Again, we were using a free version of our Zapier account to do this. And then you'll be able to build a Zap. Okay, and a Zap is a trigger and an action. Our trigger system is where the automation begins. In this case, for us, it was a Google Sheet. And we were just adding new rows to the Google Sheet as our trigger.
And I love that you use that. We want to show you tools that you have access to at your fingertips without spending any money at all.
Yep.
And getting you familiar with that. And next week, we're going to dive in and go a little deeper with integrations that you've asked us about. ClickFunnels is going to be our next one. And I want to talk about, if you want to have these integrations with your Scipio account, you do need to upgrade. We don't offer them on the free account. You will have to upgrade to our premium paid plan. And with that, the world's just blown right open for you. You
Yeah.
have every integration right at your fingertips. And I can promise you, it makes life so much easier when trying to run an effective and efficient business on very little time. So
yeah, very little time, very little resources, very little manpower to be able to automate. You'll see I got the notification that Bianca was successfully added to my campaign.
now I'm going to get
She's
a
going to get a
notice
message
on my phone
Yep.
and my credit card's been declined.
in 15 minutes. And again, that campaign could be 2 messages, 3 messages, 5 messages. But again, at the end of the day, we want to automate a lot of this outreach so that the right people are getting the right message
at the right time. Yes.
So they know that you're thinking about them, that you care about them. And it doesn't have to be a salesy thing. It doesn't have to be.
It could just be adding a new contact, even their welcome message.
Yep.
Right when you add them into your
Yep.
system.
Or when they schedule their first appointment, sending them a message saying, hey, I'm so excited to meet you. Can't wait for your appointment on this day. There's so much that you can do and so much that you can automate this. We can't wait. I wish it was next Tuesday. We can talk through this again.
Excited to teach you more. If you have any questions, please leave them in comments. We promise we will get back to you.
Yep. Guys, Happy New Year.
Happy
and
New
we'll
Year.
see you
Take
next
care.
week.